Hey everyone, I wanted to make a quick video whilst I've got some time today to talk about therapy, because I know that it is something that some people avoid, some people really want, and something that can be really difficult for people. I just got my first therapy session, or my first kind of introduction to it, just a couple of hours ago, and it was really difficult because you have to talk about things that are really hard to talk about with someone you don't know, or they're things that are really personal and stuff that you may not have told people just because you felt like you could. I had my therapy call and I spoke about a lot of things that people will also struggle with, which I'm sure makes it a lot easier to look at and go, well, other people are dealing with it as well. So you're not alone in that sense. But the reaching out for therapy is one of the big steps that you can make in trying to generally improve your mental well-being. If that be you reach out and just get a couple therapy sessions, or you get quite a bit of therapy sessions, whatever helps you get to a point of being able to talk. That's the real incentive, the real motive, is being able to get to a point where you can speak to someone about things that are bothering you, that have been a detrimental problem, and that they don't disregard it, and that it's taken seriously and really taken into account how you're feeling as a whole. A lot of people I know, and a lot of people out there, will have attempted therapy and it didn't work. I know that it's very difficult for some people, therapy, because talking about how you feel can be very difficult. It can be extremely hard to verbalize your feelings, especially to someone that you don't know in a therapist or that sort of service. And to be quite frank, for some people, therapy won't work. And that's not something that you need to be ashamed of or feel wrong about. Just because there are some people that find therapy a more effective method of dealing with or trying to find a way out of mental health issues, just because some people feel like they can, doesn't mean that if it doesn't work for you, you're necessarily wrong. I have had people in my life that I know that tried therapy and it didn't work at all. And mind you, they cope in so many different ways, and they are great people as they are, and they tried therapy and it didn't work. And, they came out okay. See, the most important thing out of all of this, if you are attempting to find therapy, or you are attempting to find some sort of way of expressing how you're feeling, if that not be with people you know and not talking to people that potentially you're already quite close with, it's really important that in some way you do get therapy. And what I mean by that is talking therapy, what most people would label as therapy, as in a therapy session with a professional. That is not what therapy is as a whole. Therapy is something that can really help with your mental health, can really, stagger the progress of you getting worse, can really either put you in a better position or just take you out of a worse position. And that can be anything. Talking therapy is what most people know therapy as, but therapy could literally be going on a walk in the countryside, or doing stuff with family, or doing things with friends. Therapy is in so many forms of life that help deal with mental health. And it is very easy to forget that therapy isn't just, the traditional lie on a sofa, talk to a therapist as they write on a clipboard. It's not as simple as that. So with that in mind, therapy as a whole can be really difficult. If we're talking about talking therapy, or we're talking about anything where you're attempting to find solutions or ways to cope or deal with mental health problems that are really finding a way to get in and really affecting your everyday life. If there is some sort of way you can tap into a form of therapy, and I'm not talking just talking therapy, any of the other therapies I have talked about, if there's any other way you can get into that, it is extremely helpful. Trust me. I found before I even attempted to go for talking therapy, I would firstly listen to music and create videos like this. Making these videos is actually, in a form itself, my therapy. The initial creation of videos talking about my mental health and, being who I am, it is therapy. And that could be the exact same for someone else out there, or even one of you, where you have to share, you have to talk about how you feel for it to kind of almost get off your chest. You feel like people know now. So, on a final note, I hope everyone watching this can find, if needed, find therapy. Or if you're watching this and there's someone who you think would require or really benefit from therapy, there are so many ways to tap into it, even if it's not traditional therapy. You can even instill therapy yourself. If you feel like you're a good enough listener, you can take them on a walk, that person. If you're trying to help, you can take that person on a walk and say, hey, how do you feel? And it might be uncomfortable, but if they feel like they can talk to you and they feel like they can open up about things, then that can become a really useful thing for them. It can be a really good outlet to discuss how they're feeling. And it might not work. There is no set in stone way of figuring out what works for some people. Sometimes it is literally trial and error to see where you're at. And sometimes therapy won't be the answer. And whatever those answers are, they are for you to find. No one else should tell you where to find those answers, where to find the help that you need. But I'm merely giving advice on the idea of therapy and what it entails and everything to do with it. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have an incredible day. Please stay safe and enjoy the rest of your week. See you later.